Long ago in a prosperous kingdom there lived a king who owned the most magnificent horse anyone had ever seen. The horse was tall, powerful, and graceful, its coat shining brightly under the sun. Whenever it ran across the palace grounds, people stopped to admire it. To the king, this horse was not just an animal, it was pride, honor, and almost like family. In the very same stable lived a small goat, ordinary, quiet, and forgotten. No one praised it and no one paid attention to it. It simply existed in the shadow of greatness. One morning, the palace awoke to terrible news. The great horse had suddenly collapsed. It lay on the ground, breathing heavily, unable to stand. The king rushed to the stable, panic written across his face, and immediately called for the royal healer. Rare herbs were prepared, medicines were given, and every known remedy was tried. 1 day passed, then 2, then 5, 10, and finally 15 days went by. Still, the horse did not rise. Hope slowly faded from the palace, and a heavy silence replaced the usual pride that once surrounded the animal. At last, the royal healer approached the king with a sorrowful expression and said, "Your Majesty, I have tried everything within my power. If the horse does not stand by tomorrow, we must give it poison to end its suffering." The words struck the king like a storm, but after a long pause he nodded with deep sadness. If this is its destiny, then so be it. Standing quietly nearby, the little goat heard every word. That night, when the stable was wrapped in silence and moonlight slipped gently through the wooden windows, the goat slowly walked toward the horse. "Brother," it said softly, "you must listen to me. Tonight may be your last chance. If you do not stand tomorrow, your life will end." The horse barely opened its tired eyes and whispered, "I have no strength left." But the goat refused to step back. Again and again, it encouraged him. "Try once more. Gather whatever strength remains inside you. Do not surrender before your final breath." Through the quiet night, the goat continued to motivate the horse, asking for just one final attempt. As dawn arrived, the first ray of sunlight entered the stable and touched the horse's face. Something stirred within him. He moved one leg, then the other. His body trembled under its own weight, but with a deep and painful effort, the horse pushed himself upward and stood. For a moment it felt as if time itself had stopped. When the guards saw it, they shouted in disbelief. The king came running, the healer stared in shock, and whispers of miracle spread through the palace. Overwhelmed with joy, the king declared, "My precious horse is saved. Let there be a grand celebration across the kingdom." Drums echoed, laughter returned, and hope filled the air once again. Amid all the excitement, the little goat stood quietly in the corner, its heart filled with warmth. "My words saved my friend," it thought. But happiness can sometimes blind the world. As preparations for the royal feast began, the royal cook approached the king and bowed. "Your Majesty, the celebration is ready. Please give the order. Which animal shall we prepare for the royal dinner?" Without hesitation, the king replied, "Use the goat." And within moments, the same goat who had saved another life lost its own. This story teaches us something deeply important. Kindness is beautiful, and helping others is noble, but wisdom must guide compassion. The world does not always reward honesty, and it does not always protect the brave. Sometimes offering advice where it is not asked, or stepping forward without awareness, can cost us our own safety. In every story, the one who speaks is not always the hero. Sometimes he is the sacrifice. So help others, but with awareness. Choose the right moment, protect your well-being, and remember that sometimes silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence is wisdom.